Silence is the most potent form of work. However vast and emphatic the scriptures may be, they fail in their effect. The Guru is quiet, and peace prevails in all. Their silence is more vast and emphatic than all the scriptures put together. All the texts say that in order to gain release, one should render the mind quiescent. Therefore, their conclusive teaching is that the mind should be rendered quiescent. Once this has been understood, there is no need for endless reading. There will come a time then when one will have to forget all that one has learned. The self is that where there is absolutely no I thought. That is called silence. When one's self arises, all arises. When one's self becomes quiescent, all becomes quiescent. Be still then. Apart from this, the mind has no task to do or thought to think. If you remain still, without paying attention to this, without paying attention to that, and without paying attention to anything at all, You will, simply through your powerful attention to being, become the reality, the vast I, the unbounded space of consciousness. Because that state is taught by silence, and also because it is attained by remaining in silence, it is called silence. The sage is in silence always, even when they speak. When one remains without thinking, one understands another by means of the universal language of silence. This is that state when words cease and silence prevails. O foolish mind, who is suffering due to the desire for the petty pleasures of this world and of the next, if you remain quiet without desire, you will certainly attain that state of bliss which surely transcends the pleasures of these two. No one can confront and overcome the mind. Ignore it then as something false and unreal. Know the self-awareness as the real ground and stand firm, rooted in it. Then the mind's movements will gradually subside. if the noise of thoughts rising incessantly within does not subside, the ineffable state of silence will not be revealed. When one refrains from looking out and noting outward objects, and instead abides within the heart in self-awareness, the ego disappears. The pure silence that then shines forth is the goal of knowledge. The end of pain. The bliss of peace results from egoless awareness, and not at all from verbal wisdom. Having become free from concepts, which are afflicting thoughts, and with I am the body idea completely extinguished, one ends up as the mere I of grace, the non-dual expanse of consciousness. This is the supremely fulfilling vision of God. Having restrained the deceitful senses and having abandoned mental concepts, you should stand aloof in your real nature. In that state of self-abidance, in which you remain firmly established in the consciousness of the heart, the divine truth will reveal itself. the true vision of reality that is free from veiling ignorance, is the state in which one shines in the heart as the ocean of bliss, the inundation of grace. In the experience of silence that surges there as holy self, and which is impossible to think about. Not a trace of grief or discontent exists for the jiva. Though that state of being the real self is called the state of knowledge, it is one in which there is none of the three: the knower, the object known, and the act of knowing. That being the case, what does one know there? By what means? And who is there to know? It must be understood that knowledge is just a name for the state of being the self. In that state, doubts do not arise, since the sage is ever firm in their awareness of the true self. There they remain without affirmations and vacillations, immersed in the depths of peace, the mind having become extinct. The mind should not be allowed to wander towards worldly objects and what concerns other people. When there is no thought, the mind experiences happiness. As the meditation on the self rises higher and higher, the thoughts will get destroyed. Remaining quiet is what is called wisdom insight. To remain quiet is to resolve the mind in the self. Likes and dislikes, love and hatred are equally to be eschewed. As thoughts arise, destroying them utterly without any residue in the very place of their origin is non-attachment. The world should be considered like a dream. In no single one of the countless objects of the mundane world is there anything that can be called happiness. Apart from thoughts, there is no such thing as mind. If only the mind is kept under control, what matters it where one may happen to be?